Beautiful people, welcome. Wow, let's just take a moment to let that sink in. 35 people are present, and there's a lot of people who are watching the recording. We have about 52 subscriptions, people who want to learn astrology, and that warms my heart. I started on the path myself in 2000, end of 2015, beginning of 2016, and discovered pretty fast that it is something that I've done in many lifetimes. It came very easy to me, also because I studied languages and interpretation, and my master's degree in the university in interpretation and translation. Now, that was German and Spanish. So, it's got nothing to do with astrology, but it is translating something. And, it kind of helped me to put everything together really, really quickly. So you obviously are here, and you might be, you know, at the beginning of learning astrology. It might be, the first time you ever heard of astrology. Even you're like, whoa, what the fuck is this? It sounds cool. Or there's some people even here that are astrologers. So, and that's the whole point. I think what's beautiful is that astrology does not end. You cannot stop learning astrology. You literally need various lifetimes to learn everything that astrology offers. Truly, the more you learn, the more you notice, like, oops, there's more to learn. And that's why I love astrology, because you can keep learning. I got my moon in Aries in the 9th house and Jupiter there conjunct. If you don't know what that means, you're going to learn in just a second. If you do know what it means, it kind of explains everything that I am. So I hope you have pen and paper with you. If not, then, go ahead and grab it right now. I hope you have your astrology chart, your personal chart with you. I send it to all your emails, so you should be fine, because we're going to work with your chart. That's how you learn best, honestly. Just by reflecting it back towards you, in a way, you know yourself best. But then again, if you were to go deeper and deeper into the layers of astrology, you would need someone else to tell. I need other astrologers to observe my chart, because I am way too, it's too subjective. I'm too involved. But anyway, for learning in the beginning stage, it is really for you to let it sink in. So we're going to work with your chart actively, really. And the intention is to, in this 1 hour and a half to 2 hours, depending a little bit, I tend to be on time lately, which is pretty cool, like 1 hour and a half, but probably 2 hours. And we're going to learn how to make sense of the symbols, how to make sense of the charts, the pie, if you will, where you look at it and you're like, what the hell? I would never be able to interpret that. Tonight's the night. I realize that is a challenge, like hugely, because it's not easy. But I know that when you follow the steps that I give you tonight, and by the way, there's a full 27-page PDF that I'm going to share with you at the end of this workshop, that has everything on it that I say today. But I'm going to give it at the end so that you draw with me, that you write with me, because that's how you learn. And honestly, because it is such a big challenge to teach you all of this, all right, I'm very serious about this. I need your undivided attention. Like, if you're really serious about this, no other browsers open, no distractions, full attention here. That's one. And two, questions for that reason at the end. I'm not taking any questions during the session simply because I do not want to be distracted, because I know myself. I'm going to answer your questions and I'm going to go. I live in Spain, but I'll be in Belgium, while answering your question. All right. So that's why focus. Tonight's a focus from my part to you. That's my dedication, so that you really walk away knowing how to interpret charts. All right. So this is also a follow-up. There's a follow-up. There's an astrology course. If you really want to dive deeper, I'm going to release it at the end of today. Super excited about that. I'll tell you more about that. It's really in depth. I've worked really hard on that. 18 hours course. And then you can imagine all the editing. So I'll tell you more about the astrology course in just a second. But for now, since that we're all here right now, what we're going to do today, one, I'm going to explain to you what a chart is built out of, so that you can read it and understand it. And then I'm going to give you the blueprint step by step. We're going to go step by step. If you follow along, just stick with me. In the end, you get a full quadrant, or you're just going to have to build the blocks, and it's all there. And then magic happens. Trust me. That's what astrology is. Magic. Before we go there, one thing, tuning in together. I want the group energy to be strong, to be here, to be protected. So what we're going to do is a short coming here, meditation, breathing, and we're going to chant the mantra Om Namo. I'm going to write it down in just a second. Om Namo Gurudev Namo 3 times. All right, so let me just put it in the chat here. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. This is a mantra for protection and for calling upon the wisdom of all the teachers. All right, so I'm going to give you one example. So just listen and observe. And then I'm going to tell you to join. All right, but first, all right, let me do the example. Rubbing the hands, bringing the hands to the chest, palms together, nice straight spine, eyes closed, breathing in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. That's how we chant it. All right, so come and sit, nice straight spine, to ground here, to be here, to let everything that was today be there. And so you can be here with me and astrology. Rub your hands more. And just for a second, put them 10 centimeters or 15 centimeters apart from each other, and just feel the space within. Place them at the region of your heart. And for a second, just feel the energy flowing in between your hands with your eyes closed. And just breathe in and out. Allow your shoulders to relax. Leave all the tension away. Let it dissipate. Just breathe in and out a little bit slower than usual, and a little bit deeper than usual. And place your hands together at the heart. Thumbs pressing against the sternum. And breathe in together now. In and out. in to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Fully inhale and hold the breath. Hold it and make this breath your prayer. Release it. Keep the eyes closed, hands on the knees. Feel for a second and tune in. All right, when you're ready, open your eyes and let's dive in. All right, let me share with you my screen down here. Okay. So, where do I begin? I've received that question countless times. And I was like, let's explain a step-by-step guide to interpret birth charts for beginners. All right. Wait, that's not what I want to show you. That's actually the PDF. Well, doesn't really matter. Okay, you know what? Just gonna share that. No, hold on a second. All right, cool. So, astrology. All right, let me first explain to you what astrology is. Astrology, making sense, logy of the stars, astro. So astrology is a form of divination. What does that mean? It means that it is a theory that helps us understand ourselves, our environment, and our relationship to the universe. All right? So it is a study of cycles, and it allows us to see life and give life to life. Now, here, if you watch astrology, the study of cycles, right? Just watch at this image. I've placed the Earth in the middle as an astrologer because that's what we do. Why do you think that is? Well, we are studying the interaction of the planets with Earth. Does that make sense? All right. So we got, obviously, we know it's accepted, except if you are a flat earther, which I have respect for, but I go more under the impression that we are in a heliocentric, which means that the sun is in the middle of the universe, right? Now, for studying astrology, we put the Earth in the middle, and that's what we do in astrology. All right. And so this image down here is a representation in an image of what is going on outside. So just imagine yourself for a second standing outside at night. All right. You look up, you stand with your feet on Earth, right? And you look up to the stars. Well, this is what you see. you see the planets, if you know where they are, and you see the stars. And the stars are actually, amongst many others, the zodiac signs of Leo, Virgo, Libra, etc. So we are here and we look up around us and we see this cycle down here. So a birth chart then, right, which is the thing that you see here, okay, the birth chart is very comparable to this image. Can you see that, right? So a birth chart, what does that mean? A chart, which this is a chart, all right, this is a chart, and at birth. So you need your exact time to the minute. This is extremely important. I explain all of this in my astrology course. I'm not going to go deeper into that right now, but why? But your exact time, your exact date, obviously, and your location. And then you can cast a chart at birth. So since we know that what we are studying is the interaction, meaning the communication that there is of the planets with Earth, and also of the zodiac signs with the planets and Earth. And so this interaction allows us to see what energetic material you are made up of, right? It is your energetic blueprint. So what is a birth chart made up of? Planets, zodiac signs, houses, aspects, which are the lines, and that's it. All right, and we're going to dive deeper into planets, zodiac signs, houses, and aspects. But first, we need to physically understand what the hell are we doing, right? So a birth chart is our personal blueprint, right? Because Earth is here, but for a birth chart, this is you in the middle, standing on Earth. Does that make sense? Right? So the birth chart shows us our energy, our psyche, right? It shows us our character and how we will interact with our environment. That's what we're doing, all right? So what makes up a birth chart, all right? A birth chart exists out of a circle, all right? You've seen it. This is a circle. And a circle represents many things. It represents space. Because just imagine that you are in the middle. A circle is the best representation in an image of what endless space is, because that's what we are in the universe. There is no ending. It is infinite. You can't imagine that. So the best way to express that is a circle. That's, in a way, the void, because this is the playground where everything happens. One verse song. The universe is one song. And what's happening with these planets, they are the band members making the song. All right, which is an energetic blueprint. Anyway, the circle here, that's what a chart is made up of. This is the skies. And obviously we are in the middle, and here are the zodiac signs, right? And this circle also allows us to measure time and thus the movement of the planets. Okay, so it's made up out of a circle. 1. 2, we have the circle. A chart is also made up of a horizon. Horizon. Where does that come from? Well, ever heard of the Egyptian god Horus? Right? So Horus is the hour that we are measuring. right? Horus was another name for the sun, the god of the sun, right? And many other things. But horizon is, this is where the sun comes up and the sun goes down. For that same reason, we have this line here. It's called ascending, ascendant, a rising sign. Now you know why that is, because these are the signs. These are the zodiac signs. You see these symbols here? They're rising up, just like that. Why? Because the earth here in the middle is turning counterclockwise. So obviously, if you go down this way, this seems to be coming up. Does that make sense? So this is your rising sign. This here on the left is your ascendant, also known as ASC or AC. That's a very important point in your chart already. This is that which is seen first. Why? Because obviously it is rising and you see it. You see it first coming up. It's the first thing you see. And also at the opposite part is the descendant. Why do you think that is? Well, the sun is setting there and the planets are setting there. So this line is dividing the chart up into two dimensions, the dimension above and the dimension below. And if you know that astrology is a language of symbols, right? Then we are looking at our environment in a symbolic way. So if we have Earth in the middle, and we are standing here, we are seeing the skies, that which is seen. So that is the public life. Everything that is above is public. Everything that is below is private and intimate. Okay? So remember that, because this is going to be part of our interpretation. So horizon is one. Second, we have the circle, the horizon, and then we have a line going from up, down. When we do that, we divide the chart up in left and right. And when we integrate the line here with this line, and why is this line here? Well, this is called the mid-heaven. Mid, it is the middle point of the heaven. In other words, it is the highest point of that very moment. This here is the mid-heaven. So again, if astrology is a language of symbols, this is going to be the reputation of the person, because it's that which is highest in the skies. It is its career. It is its business. It is its reputation and status. Makes sense? So when we do that, when we have a division, we get a cross. We get a cross. We get 4 dimensions. We get 4 quadrants. And so this is, by the way, why the symbol of Earth here, this one, this is a symbol of Earth, a circle with a cross, because Earth has 4 directions. And these directions are north, west, south, and east. Now, I know it's flipped, but I explain all of this in my course. I'm not going to go deeper into that. Just follow along with me. This is north. This is south. This is east. This is west down here. So we have, therefore, also 4 elements. Why? Because we have Aries here. This is fire, and fire is always red. We have Cancer with water, and water is always represented as blue. We have here Libra, and that is air, and air is yellow. This is yellow. And then we have Capricorn Capricorn is earth. That is green. So we get the 4 elements, but what do we also get? The 4 seasons. Ah, of course. And that is another reason why we have these 4 lines here, people. Because Aries is what? It's the beginning of the year. Not the calendar year of Gregorian, but the astrological year. This is spring. This is the spring equinox. Why do you think it is called equinox? Equal day, equinox night. Well, because we are here in the middle of the chart. This is where the sun comes and there's equally days and equally nights. And these points here are the solstice points. We have the summer solstice, Cancer, and we have the winter solstice, which is where we're going to be now in a couple of days. So this is obviously winter, and that's where the 4 seasons come from. All right. So that's what measured in the chart. And so this line too divides it up in a left and in a right. And left, if you see this here, this is more me. Right is more you or the other. So we know how a chart looks like now, the way it looks like. So what is it also made up of? Zodiac signs. This is the outer circle here. All right. I'm going to show the outer circle here in these symbols because the zodiac, all right, is a circle of little animals. That's what it means. And the Mesopotamians and the Egyptians, right, divided the skies up into 12 parts. Now, as far as we know, there's 360 degrees in a circle, right? And if you divide that by 12, you get 30 degrees for each sign. So this is important to know. There's 30 degrees in each sign. And all these signs are little animals. It's a circle of little animals. And what do they do? Why are they there? Well, it is said that these 12 signs are the 12 archangels, the 12 Elohim that build the universe. And they are an energy, they come from very, 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 very far away. And their energy in this region, when a planet is in that region, because why? We look always from the point of view of Earth. We always put you or the Earth in the middle, and we observe outwards. And so these planets, they interact with a zodiac sign, and the planets interact with the Earth. Does that make sense? So that's why I have put these arrows here, because they pass on. For instance, here, the sun passes on the energy of, what is this? We are currently in Sagittarius. So the Sagittarian energy is passed on to the sun. The sun has a quality that we're going to learn in just a second. We're going to learn the meaning of it. But I want you to see what happens and why. So the sun gets the energy of Sagittarius and passes on the energy to Earth, right? That's what's happening. And that way we have the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, Mercury, Sun, and Mars, all traveling around the zodiac. There's many other more, but I just keep it to these planets just for the sake of beginning. All right. So all these elements are interacting with Earth on a physical and energetic level. All right, cool. So when you have this chart, this is what happens in the chart itself. This is an astrology chart. And we have the zodiac signs here, right? And we have the Earth in the middle. We have the circle and we have the cross. All right. And then I've put the words of the symbols next to this is your PDF, by the way, that you're going to get. And this is Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius. We have the 12 zodiac signs. And what are the zodiac? The zodiac, when we interpret a chart, well, let's begin there, is the how. Remember that. When we look at a zodiac sign, that is knowing how is energy expressed. So I've put the meaning of the zodiac signs here. I put the symbol and the zodiac sign and the word for it. And what I've done there, and this is the beginning of building blocks for you. This is where the magic starts happening. What I've done is, in my experience, I've placed 3 words that describe these energies. Now, I want you to know there's way more, all right? There's a vast, infinite amount of describing Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, etc. But what I want you to do is start by focusing on these 3 words and pick what works for you there. We're going to do that in just a second, all right? And this is, by the way, where astrologers make it way too complicated. They give, like, they have done it for so many years. They give a full description of what Aries is, and it is like you're beginning. So you just want, okay, you just want to have building blocks. So let's just go over it really quick. This is something, by the way, there's no running away from this. You have to study this by heart, period. And you're going to do that by practicing over and over and over again. So here are my best 3 words for the zodiac signs. Aries is in a warrior way, initiating and fiery. Taurus, steady, artsy, comfort seeking. Gemini, communicative, seeking, nervous. And again, don't get, if you're like, oh, I'm a Gemini, doesn't mean I'm nervous. Hold on, don't go there, wait, right? And I'll explain in just a second. Cancer, nurturing, safe-like, emotional. Leo, creative, shining, egoic. Virgo, analytical, purifying, hermit-like. Libra, relating, balancing, harmonizing. Scorpio, intense, desireful, transformative. Sagittarius, adventurous, teaching, philosophizing. Capricorn, authoritative, controlling, practical. Aquarius, objective, rebellious, group-oriented.